Round 2 was held at Green Garden Lanes, and, much like Rolling Meadows a day ago, there were a number of good scores, but many struggled to find a line on which they could carry. Bob Kane Jr. began the day with a 64-pin lead and picked up right where he left off. After opening games of 245, 248, and 233, his lead would grow after finishing with 200 and 226 for a grand total of 2,418. We caught up with Bob when he was done.
I'm just a little dazed right now. Pretty excited, happy about the way I bowled this weekend. It was a great weekend. Everything just seemed to fall into place. My timing was there. Everything felt great. The timing, the release, everything was working for me well this weekend. And hopefully I can carry it over to the following weekend and do well next weekend. So we'll see where we go.
Tom Petrov continued to hold down second. His round of 1,097 left him 119 pins back with 2,299. Places 3 through 6 featured multiple champions, including Pat Malone, Mike Shady, and Lee Amy Jr. Pat Malone knocked down 1,122 pins on Sunday and is sitting in third. Mike Shady closed with 1,161, good for 2,269 pins overall and fourth place. Corey Bithell knocked down 1,147 pins on Sunday, good for 2,231 overall and fifth place. Lee Amy Jr. had 1,144 on Sunday for a total of 2,225, and he is in sixth. The next two spots were held by past champions, as Steve Benke shot 1,102 for a grand total of 2,173, and Ron Palombi Jr. had 1,104 on Sunday for 2,155. The top 10 was rounded out by Robbie Troutman with 2,151 and Jason Dunn with 2,140. Number 16 and the current cut line for the finals is John Ferretti with 2,093 pins. There were two perfect games shot in the second round, both on the morning squad. The first one was by Mike Dunkel. His 300 game was a major factor in moving on to the next round. He finished tied for 18th at plus 89. Here's what Mike had to say following his round.
After first ball, I knew it was going to be pretty good. Started throwing strike, got about the seventh frame, and I want to get one here because actually the first one my dad's ever seen. So first one in the tournament, first one my dad's ever been here to see. And it was pretty special shooting the 300 and jumping up to about 13th. I dropped down a little bit after that, but carrying is not very easy here. You move left, you leave a 4, go through the nose, you leave a lot of 8 pins, 10 pins. Carrying here is a very difficult house.
The other perfect game was shot by Remington Walters, and while he didn't make the cut this year, he's not the least bit discouraged.
I'll be back. I always gonna be back. That's it. It's my first year, but I'll be back.
The high score of the day was turned in by Chris May. His games of 242, 268, 247, 217, and 237 propelled him from 134th clear up to 18th, and well in the cut line for the semifinal round of 32. There was quite a flurry of activity in the last game of the day as bowlers struggled to make the cut. Several bowlers made charges that fell just short, and the final spots were determined when Ray Huggins and Dan Francis completed their round on lanes 21 and 22. Ray Huggins needed to fill the 10th frame. He came through with a spare and a strike and was on to the next round. Dan Francis would be the last one to complete the 10-game qualifier, and he needed a mark in the 10th frame. Anything less, and there would be a tie for 32nd. Francis was well aware of the situation he was in, and a solid strike in the 10th dashed the hopes of those on the bubble. There's going to be quite a chase for the precious 16 spots in the finals. The first 8 spots are currently being held by 5 past champions, while only 92 pins separate 9th from 32nd. The top 32 will bowl 6 more games at Northeast Lanes, with a cut to the final 16 immediately following.